everyone. I'm here
Recording is on.
Hi, good morning here in San Diego, America, and good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I am Tiffany Johnston, the Chief of Staff of BlockCerts, and we are here with, I just wanted to introduce Daniele Menzi. He is the President of Fusion Stx.
Hey, Tiffany.
Hi, Daniele.
Nice to see you. I'm
Good
in
morning.
Rome. I'm nine hours ahead of you, and but it's still a sunny weather here. So nice to meeting you and talking to you and to Dennis.
Great. And we have Dennis Silin. He is the founder and CEO of Exodus Orbital. Hello, Dennis.
Nice to meet you all. Nice to see you. Nice to see you again, Tiffany.
That's great. Dennis, if you'd like to go ahead.
Yes, so let me start. So our company, Exodus Orbitals, is working on the service called, which can be described as satellites for rent. And you can go forward as I will be explaining our concept. You can go forward in the presentation, Tiffany. So the rental economy, I think everyone understands how it works. You don't necessarily buy things if you cannot afford them, but for many of those expensive assets like a house or the car, you can definitely rent them for the duration of the time you need them. The same concept absolutely can apply in space. The satellites are quite an expensive kind of asset to own. However, renting them will be a lot more affordable. And this is what we are building. We're going to create a rental economy in space. You can go ahead and forward that presentation. So how does it work? How exactly you rent a satellite? You cannot have a satellite in your backyard. What you will do is we create a application market in space where developers, software developers, will be able to rent the satellite time and run their own mission, run their own software on the satellite. And in this manner, users for these applications will be able to get data and services from satellites, from the space applications that those developers are creating. This will be an network model.
It's you know, I've never seen something like this before. Talking to you, which is kind of a satellite as a service model. So as any company building applications or a product on top of satellite infrastructure can actually liaise with you guys and get connected without bearing all the infrastructure costs, right?
Yes. So this concept, satellite as a service, satellite for rent, is just emerging. The first mission of this kind has only been launched in December last 2019. This mission actually was not a commercial one. This mission was a European Space Agency one. So this concept is just leaving the research and development phase and entering the commercialization phase. So we are one of the first companies in this area, and we have the most, the most well-developed concept of, application store model in space. There are other companies working on satellite as a service in one way or another, but not to an extent we are doing this. So we are 100% on this business model only. Right now, everyone in space industry are thinking hardware. They offer opportunities for the customers to launch either the entire satellite or some kind of instrument. We are going to skip entirely and provide ready-to-use satellites for our customers. This is the core of our business model, and I think our core advantage. Instead of waiting, 12 months before a satellite launch in space, we can literally give you access to the satellite the next day after signing the contract with us.
Which is very nice from a cash flow perspective for either investors of a company building products on top of your infrastructure, because at the end of the day, I mean, we all know SpaceX and the struggles and the money actually it took to Elon Musk to build all this. And while in fact you are trying to fix an industry problem to get access to, in this case, to product by reducing dramatically the cash flow and the cash burn for new businesses, right?
Exactly. And he's approaching, SpaceX is approaching in from the cost of transportation to space, which is still high and going down quite slowly. So we are sort of bypassing this problem altogether. As you know, the software has zero mass. So the cost to deploy your software on a satellite is literally, the marginal cost is about several dollars per megabyte. And this is as low as it can be ever possible.
Cool. Okay.
Can you maybe forward the presentation? One slide. Yes, application. Let's keep that slide. Now, if you have access to the satellite, what you can do with it, I think that is the question to answer. And what you can do with this depends on what kind of satellite will you have. Our service will be providing you Earth observation satellite. That means you have access to the imaging camera, Earth imaging camera, and also a software-defined radio transceiver able to communicate with the assets on the ground. And with these two instruments, you can do quite a number of applications: natural disaster response, information for insurance companies, monitoring the crop yield, and making predictive analytics based on that. You can track ships out in the sea to see if they're fishing illegally or smuggling the immigrants. You can make first step. You can make an analytics of this data in space, and instead of downloading the data on processor raw data, you can download valuable business insights. I can tell you at the present state of the satellite technology, you can only download only 1% of the data that your satellite imaging camera can generate. So, but you can process 100% of the data on board the satellite and download only the most valuable bits you need from this data. This is the value of having access to direct access to the satellite infrastructure in space.
Love it. Actually, there's a lot of applications there. Those are probably the most, so the ones that have an immediate traction in terms of how can they be immediately integrated or bring to market. But obviously there might be also others. But I think this is it's pretty evident that there is a need to have something that provide immediate reach right now, and especially because it takes time to be connected and to start doing a business on top of satellite data, right?
Exactly, and instead, being limited to only what satellite providers can give you from their satellites, you will, bypass all these obstacles and gatekeepers and get direct access to the satellite as if they would be your own satellites.
Cool. Let's move forward.
Right. Let's move forward.
Okay, that's great. Seems like has a lot of applications and it could be deployed anywhere in the world. Very cool.
Yes, let's talk about the availability. All what I have been talking about is possible this year. What we are working on right now is our first commercial mission that will provide all these capabilities by December 2021. We have identified all the necessary hardware partners and launch providers, and we are already started pre-sales of our satellite time. You can book our satellite per orbit, and we expect our satellite in orbit before the end of this year. and starting next year, we'll have full-scale commercial operations with just one satellite initially, but going forward, we plan to have a small constellation of similar satellites to cover all the customer demands, and potentially grow into the larger constellation of more capable satellites, covering pretty much 80% to 100% of all Earth observation business cases through our constellation alone. And what's important, given this capability to pretty much anyone on the planet Earth within very reasonable budget.
Yeah, so time is now, 2021, launch is expected. And then afterwards, we're going to discuss a little bit more in detail. So the plans that you have from a different angles. I think it's key to remark that this is an upcoming launch, actually. And so while now we're streaming at the Asian Financial Festival, and obviously there might be potential partners or potential clients to be interested to have a talk and get a better understanding, I think the timing is right to approaching any type of discussion and to move it forward. So I think it's pretty cool to see that this is going, and this year we're gonna see it in front of our eyes.
That's the plan, yes.
Lovely.
And maybe you can show the last slide, showing our team, our leadership.
Yes.
It's coming.
So let's talk about our team a little bit. So I am the CEO and technical co-founder, and I have my friend and business partner, Edmund, who is a business co-founder, and he has good experience with finance and business roles through his career. We have also a team of engineers around the world in Canada and United Kingdom. And we also have some help from European Space Agency on research and development part. What you see in the center is the logo of an existing space mission we are currently participating. So we have more than just PowerPoint presentation behind our business case.
Yeah.
If you have questions, feel free to send us email.
Yeah, you have a very experienced team, which is it's predominantly a technical project, and obviously having an in-depth technical skills to build a kind of sophisticated and complex product like this across different jurisdictions, because you are present in North America and in the UK. And so you cover also different jurisdiction and time zones, actually. So being Europe and in North America. So then I think it's very important to give a flavor on your technical expertise, because this is what it mostly matters when it comes down to build a product like this, right?
Yes. So maybe 2 words about that. I did graduate with Masters in Astronautics and Space Engineering, and I had some experience in kind of old aerospace industry. And now I'm also part of the ESA mission, as well as working on our upcoming NOVA mission. So I do have, before doing my Masters, I did spend quite a lot of my career being a software developer and also being in DevOps. So I would say I have cross-domain skills in both software development and aerospace engineering. This is what our startup is pretty much about. Think of us as a software company in space more than just satellite company.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, so as I explained briefly, I didn't want to spend much time on the introduction, actually, because number one, as part of a Singapore FinTech Festival, we have already started to obviously to work together, because with Exodus Orbital within Fusion Founder platform, we have already created the so-called deal room, where potential stakeholders of a project can connect to the project to show interest from a different angles. Obviously, there are many. And tomorrow, we're going to release a new version of the portal where people willing to get a little bit more information, also from a financial standpoint of a company, can directly connect with Exodus directly in the platform and move the discussion forward. Now, during this session, we're going to tackle a little bit more. So either marketing or the financial angle of what the company is doing in terms of a growth plan. Because obviously, this is a fantastic project that is growing. And when a project is growing because obviously it has in-house expertise, but because of partnership, because of external investment, because other people contributing to the growth of a company. So now we're going to tackle those points. And actually, we're going to explain also what is our function, but predominantly that is the project. So in this case, Dennis, that is leading this, that will explain from different perspectives at which stage of the growth the company is and what the company is doing to grow further. So first topic I would like to cover is mostly to give kind of a flavor of a traction of a company, meaning that's not obviously a detailed discussion, but at least to provide a flavor to potential stakeholders of a project on is the company in discussion with potential clients? And if yes, that is a so-called traction, how things going, what are the topics on the table and how things developing to build a kind of traction. Dennis, can you tell us a bit more?
Yes, I can tell you about 2 clients we're currently discussing to taking them on board. One is just like on one end of the scale is a small startup, another company which I don't want to disclose at the moment, but it is rather big information technology company. So what do they want to run on our satellites? So the first one is a startup, and what it does is interested in developing an application software that tracks space debris, defunct satellites that are, in the same orbit as the functional one, so they can predict and tell their customers that the satellite they operate in is at risk of colliding with, piece of space debris, so they can take mitigation measures. I would say this is 90 or maybe 99% problem that can be defined in software, but for that problem to have a solution, it needs to be tested and executed on a real satellite in space. No matter how good your, simulations on the ground, and then you have to take your product and run it on a live satellite, detecting the actual, space debris from on board another satellite and relaying this information to the ground so you can, provide the value to their clients. That's an example of business case for like space startup company. Another one, which is a big IT company, they specifically want to develop a way for their clients to deploy applications in space, something in a manner that we are doing, but they're interested in adapting their own software stack, think their operating system, think their virtualization solution to run on a real space satellite. And they're looking for the company that is willing to give them the satellite as, as an execution platform. This company comes, from IT industry. They don't have any specific space expertise, but we can be a solution provider for them, both in terms of, satellite itself and the specific bits and pieces of satellite software that is required to make third-party application running on the satellite possible. So on surface, it looks like it's a computer, right? You can just upload the code in space. And when you go into the details, there's quite a lot of, important little details that can make a difference between your satellite dying on day one after running your client software and, successfully running for many years. So this is our expertise.
And do you provide, so if you work, so I think it's what you're just mentioning, let's say there is a system integrator or, a big IT company. And obviously for them, building this as you're doing, it takes too much time and too much money. So for them, it's much better to, to liaise with partners like you. Are you providing also white label solution for them, or it's kind of an integration partnership? So where you build something for them and then, they build something on top of it?
At the moment, it is more of a partnership. We aim to be a neutral third-party provider for multiple clients that run their software. Fundamentally, the role will be similar to like Amazon or Microsoft Azure, that you can run, any kind of company can run their own software, including like competitors. You can run on Amazon software on Microsoft Cloud or Microsoft SQL Server on Amazon Cloud. We will be behind the scenes. We will own the infrastructure, and we will give the independent, neutral marketplace for multiple companies for their software products. This is what the end goal for our model.
Right, and obviously, since your product is a B2B product, doesn't touch retail directly, because at the end of the day, so there's another client that it's a B2B client, and eventually there might be consumers in the back, but essentially it's a B2B distribution model. So from a marketing perspective, I think one of the critical points is to build market awareness, so people being aware on what's going on there. And do you have some plans there?
Yes. Just today, for example, I had a call with one of the business incubators in UK with a specific goal of building up our marketing strategy. We have identified, for example, a specialized marketing agency that goes after the clients in the satellite industry specifically, and then they have the expertise of marketing the solutions in space industry. Again, our platform is very specific. You cannot just post an advertisement in newspaper. So we'll be going after the clients in the industry, space industry first, and this is why we have solicited the marketing agency that is specializing in that. However, there will be multiple approaches to this kind of clients. After that, we'll go after the bigger companies outside space industry, again through the marketing agency and corporate online events. Well, all events are now online, unfortunately, but before the coronavirus, we had gone to the couple of industry trade shows in space industry first, and then information technology industry is the second one to approach. We will be soliciting clients in those two industry first, through the marketing agencies, through the industry shows, through the publications, specialized digital media that targets those kind of customers.
Cool. And I'm very curious about the market where you focusing at, because essentially, based on my very, very limited knowledge, it's a kind of a brand new or untapped market, right?
Yes. So, well, there are two markets we are going after. The first one is an existing market of nanosatellites, smaller satellites, CubeSats. I can actually show you satellites this big. This is the model.
Wow, it's very nice.
This is a small one, and this is another piece of hardware which is actually being half assembled. But that's a CubeSat ground simulator. This is our hardware. This market already exists, and it's a rapidly growing segment of the satellite industry. We'll be going after Earth observation applications first, but those applications are already the largest part of this market, because I believe it's valued at about $2 billion USD as of 2019. So that's an existing market we're going after. And the second one doesn't exist yet, because many of the companies outside space industry think insurance or finance or information technology do not have access to any kind of satellites or any kind of assets in space, simply because they don't have a low-cost solution of getting this access. We will be going after these companies and offering their software development teams an opportunity to host their products specific for the Earth observations and then beyond it on our satellite platform. So this market is a lot larger. and it's the size pretty much of most of the software-related industry sectors. Can be oil and gas, could be finance, insurance, and transportation, logistics. All of these sectors would benefit or already using some kind of satellite applications. This market will require a degree of educating them about our opportunities, and we plan to host more online events in this year, telling them what you can do. Here's our platform. Here's our development kit. You can now deploy your software applications to our satellite, and it will not cost you like an arm and a leg. You don't need to be, spend like billions like SpaceX on their development. This is the second market we're going after. After we will take on the nanosatellites, small satellites market segment.
Love it. And can you tell us a little bit more about the plans in terms of the major milestones the company is having had? Because obviously it's very interesting to know what's going on there. So what are the next steps? How are things going? Before talking to the last step, which is much more, what is the growth plan of the company?
Yes, so talking milestones, obviously the first milestone is launching our own commercial satellite, the NOVA mission. That will be December 2021. We have already, quite far in planning and designing this mission, and pretty much everything is on track for that one. That will include creating the development kit for developers and so on. The next stages, which will be also currently discussing with our hardware partners, 2022, 2023, launching multiple satellites, similar capabilities. Our first one, but with multiple satellites, we can provide a lot more. We can onboard a lot more customers, and we'll have a lot more redundancy in our solution, because if one satellite goes down, all our customers go offline. If we have 10 satellites and one goes down, it's absolutely not a problem, which is another benefit of our model. We simply redeploy the customer applications to the spare satellite. Going 5 years into our company growth, we want to have approximately up to 100 satellites covering all business cases, not just Earth observation, but all the cases in the satellite application markets: signals intelligence, communications, Internet of Things, surveillance, and Earth and communications as well. That's our long-term goal. Well, beyond that, it gets a bit speculative, but we have some plans for expanding into sending people to space, building space stations for it. But that's a long-term vision, 10 or 20 or 30 years in the future.
I want to be among the first.
Yeah.
Yes. But the same model, rental, is a lot more affordable than ownership, especially when the assets are quite expensive, such as satellites or space stations.
Anyone can afford.
Yes, and go ahead, Daniela.
Yeah, and so since we're working together on the growth plan, so the step number one, it was what we have been doing together, actually, to start creating number one exposure, and also this is what we're doing right now, and to create a very, very consistent framework to vet potential stakeholders of a project. Stakeholders of a project typically are either investors or partners, right? Partners or clients. So that's why we built after due diligence phase, where we went through the documentation of a project. So the project now is enabled to be connected. Actually, we're going to have tomorrow a release on the Fusion Fund platform. So we're very welcome to invite people to connect there and to get in touch with the project and to interact with from a different standpoint, because there are different opportunities there, but via the platform, and the platform will make the necessary checks to validate whether the requests can be moved forward. So Dennis, I think it's very important right now to tell a little bit more about your growth plan. because the company is growing. And can you tell a little bit more at which stage of the process the company is, and actually what are the requests or the offering that the company is providing to the market?
Definitely. Surprisingly, for the amount of progress we made, we're still at the seed stage. So far, we have bootstrapped our company from our own money. At this point, we are raising our first equity round beyond what we have between us, and that would be $750,000 US dollars for 5% equity. This is our first round. At this moment, our company valuation is about 15 million. So that I hope that those numbers will give an answer to our potential investors. Provided we are going after the commercial operations, we will do a second and potentially third and fourth rounds. But for now, we are in the seed stage fundraising.
Yeah. So right now there is kind of a private offering. So with private investors being professional, accredited, qualified, whatever you want to call them. So there's no retail offering available right now. But stay tuned, because something new will come up soon. But I think it's very important to understand who is a potential stakeholder of a company. So as you said before, professional qualified investors interested to get on board to an equity round at 15, right? Million valuation, you said before.
Yes.
And at 5% equity. So, and this means anyone willing to get in touch with you can do directly via your website that we have shown before, that is part of this recording, or via Fusion Funder platform. And to remind once more, because we have repeated several times, I will repeat once more, Fusion Funder does not attract capital from investors. So this means Fusion Funder right now is a technology platform that connects stakeholders of a project, as I said before, partners, potential investor, whatever, directly with the company. So there's no financial transactions that involve Fusion Funder at the moment. So there is a direct transaction between potential partners and the project. So we're very happy if people connect directly with Exodus or on board to our platform after due diligence, and then they connect directly with the project, with Dennis, with Edmund, and in order to follow up the discussion. So we'll be very happy to move this type of discussion forward, because we're providing help in making a successful journey happening. So very, very happy to work with projects and ventures like yours, Dennis and Edmund.
Yes, very happy to work with you, with Tiffany and Danielle and everyone from the Fusion Funder team. Looking forward to potential deals.
Yeah, looking forward very much. Thank you very much, Dennis. You wanna say something, Tiffany?
Yeah, I just wanted to add for Fusion Funder broker-dealers as well.
Sure. Sorry, you're right.
Yes, broker-dealers and accredited investors, professional investors.
Yeah.
Great. This is a phenomenal project and company that you're building, Dennis, that you're allowing companies large and small to provide satellite as a service, basically running your software in space and all the applications that could be deployed with that technology anywhere in the world. So very, very exciting, and best of luck to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Do you want to? Can you share the contact info on how potential investors can get in touch with you?
Yes, on the last slide, it has my email address. That mailbox only goes straight to me. It's not a shared mailbox.
Yeah.
Only I have access. contact@exodusorbitals.com. You can put the presentation's last slide online.
Yeah. So I think it's part of the recording anyway. So
yes.
So it stays there.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So thank you very much, Dennis. Thank you very much, Tiffany. And looking forward to see this project going to the moon.
And beyond.
Yes, Yeah. Thank you so much, Dennis and Daniele, and thank you for watching us. Have a good evening, good morning, good night to everyone out there, wherever you are.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.